Welcome to Oh Brother, Not Another Podcast. We're an official Apple podcast, and we're sponsored by the Westport Library and the Quick Center for the Arts. And my name is Miggs Burrows.
And I'm Trace Burrows. And today we have mother, singer, and daughter of legendary guitarist Eric Clapton and daughter of Yvonne Kelly. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Her name's Ruth. Did you mention
that? And her name happens to be Ruth.
Ruth.
That's right.
Sorry about that.
Right.
So I've got a question right off. It was part of the email. You said your parents influenced you in different ways, your mother and your father. So what are the two different ways they influenced you?
So my mom is somebody that can just turn her hand to anything. She's truly amazing like that. And she just tackles everything 100%. So that's so motivating as a woman, you know, to have a female role model like that. And then she is really passionate about music too. So that, you know, a lot of my education into music came from her, you know, who I listened to, and I have really strong memories of that as a kid growing up. You know, Peter Gabriel, the Eagles. Oh gosh, I can't. There's so many. I can't even name them all. Don Henley, Bonnie Raitt, just all of those really inspirational artists that I love to listen to now. That came from her. And then on my dad's side, I mean, obviously he's so talented. And he's, again, so passionate about his craft. So, yeah, just both of them have been really motivational. And actually, to be fair to him, too, he's somebody that tackles everything full on and has overcome a lot. So, yeah, it's quite similar, actually. Both of them have influenced me in quite similar ways.
Right.
Yeah, that's I went through your Instagram sites, you know, to get some background, and I love, well, there's two things I love. One was your son singing Layla jumping on my knees, which is the cutest thing I ever heard.
It was just too funny not to share it. I had to share it because it was just so hilarious, you know, and that's their favorite. And I get it. As a kid, you like the ones that are more upbeat, you know. As I've got older, I've come more to appreciate the blues side of it, and you know, the sort of more slower numbers. But yeah, as a kid at their ages, I was the same. So, but it's just funny that he's changed all the words and
made him his own.
Yeah, it's a very different version, isn't it?
It's perfect. I mean, it's a kid's song in the making there.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have two children, and you have a lot of brothers and sisters, or stepbrothers and sisters, right?
They're all half brothers and sisters. Yeah. So I have, on my mum's side, I have a half brother, and then on my dad's side, I have 3 half sisters. But we don't ever talk about it like that. We're just family, you know.
Just family, yeah.
And there was a picture of, and I don't know how it was. Well, your dad doesn't he live in like Ohio or something? I mean,
no.
He lives
in the UK.
Didn't he used to live in this, or there was a rumor that he's living like this domestic life in some little town in Ohio? I don't know. Maybe that never happened.
No, his wife is from there, so they you know, she has family there, so they are there a lot. But yeah, no, he's based in the UK.
Because of the picture of him with your son sitting, you know, I guess your son's birthday or something, and your dad was visiting, or was that it? Was that the picture?
I think, yeah. Well, I'm trying to think, or is that at their house? I can't remember, actually.
Okay.
I can't remember.
So when you were younger, did your dad take you to any of his concerts, or?
Yeah, well, yeah. You just, you know, when he was on the road, I would sometimes, it depended on my school holidays, kind of like when he was touring, and I would go out, and yeah, I loved it. You know, I have strong memories of falling asleep backstage after eating too many M&Ms, you know, and yeah, and playing table football and stuff like that, and just so I'd go out on the road with him, and then anytime I can, even now, anytime I can go and watch him, I do. And it's crazy, this pandemic, it's been, I think this is the longest time I've gone without seeing him live, and I'm really missing it. I'm missing all live music, actually. It's really affecting me. It's got to the point where I feel like I'd go and see like a Barry Manilow tribute.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Thanks. But I love going to watch him. I'm immensely proud, as anybody would be, you know, and and I love it. And I suppose like my favorite ones to go to are the gigs at the Albert Hall. There's just something about those gigs that are very personal and sentimental. So it's quite a big part of our kind of culture, I guess. So to not be able to have gone to those this year has been, and then my phone kept coming up because I'd put the dates in my calendar, and it was last week, so it kept coming up. Oh yeah, Dad at that hall. Oh yeah, no, it's not happening. No, that's right. So
Trace and our father, we're brothers, obviously. Our father was an artist, and it took us a long time, I think. Maybe Trace was much sooner than I was to even consider being an artist also, because how are you going to compete? You know, and he wasn't a household name, but he was famous in his field of illustration. And just wonder, when did your first glimmer of becoming a singer, because you are, and I hope you'll share a song later or anytime you want now.
I think I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to share something with you.
But how long did it take you to come to that realization?
So I was in a band when I was, I think, 20, and I can't play an instrument. So I write lyrics and I can come up with a tune, you know. But I found a guy who was local to me who played guitar, and he sang and he wrote too. So we just made this kind of band. We were kind of like a duet, you know, and we wrote songs together and then sang them, and then we kind of developed that further, and we got different people in to kind of join, and we had like a double bass player who was great, and you know, and a drummer and stuff, and it got kind of cool. We were doing some gigs, and it was going well, and but I suffer with imposter syndrome, and I think that is as a result of having two really incredible parents who have been very successful. So I detonated, actually. I left, and I think I was just when it was kind of ramping up that I left. And I think I just was like, oh gosh, this is a lot of pressure now. And I was so young, I was 20, I was just not ready. And then since then, I've kind of dabbled here and there. But I think my kids, like having my kids, I just had to focus on them. But now they're at an age where I can kind of carve something out for myself. And there's no goal as such. I just have gone through a really rough year with the pandemic and everything, and then other things that have been going on in the background. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to use this for good. I'm going to channel it, and I'm going to write, and I'm going to sing, and I'm going to just be brave and put myself out there and cast my, you know, net out and see what comes back. And I've been amazed at the response, actually. It's been a really great week of getting back into it. And and I think, you know, with age comes a confidence and an acceptance of yourself. That certainly happened for me. And so I just don't feel as pressured or as frightened as I did, you know, as with that kind of going on in the background with having those parents.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be.
So you write your music on your own? You have a writing partner?
Well, I write my lyrics myself, and then sometimes a whole song will come out, you know, and I'll just be able to just put everything out. But then sometimes it's just the odd line here or there. So I have 4 people at the moment that I'm kind of collaborating with. So yeah, it just depends really. If it all comes out, great. If it doesn't, then I know I've got some people that I can kind of go to. 2 of them I know really well. 2 of them I've just met, and it's over the internet. So it's weird. I've never done anything remotely before. Like, one of the people is in California, and I've never met him in person. It's just been over Instagram. So I've sent him a couple of lines that I've written, and he's just going to see what he can try and develop them into. So yeah, but it's nice to have that, because I think sometimes when you're just doing it on your own, it can be quite overwhelming, actually. And especially when you've not been doing it for a long time, and then you're stepping back into it. You know, so yeah, I'm grateful for that. Grateful that there's, you know, I've got those people that I can collaborate with.
I'm a musician. and songwriter. I found a lot of talent around different parts of the world. I have a guy in Italy who's helping me out. I've different times I've found singers in the States, and I find them different places. Sometimes most of the time it works out. Once in a while, I think I got somebody, and then I realize I made a mistake. But there's a lot of talent that can be done. Everyone's got their home studio,
but it's interesting you don't have the in-person chemistry. I mean, maybe it works. Well, I mean, we're talking and having a conversation. Yeah. I mean, you won't necessarily.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm open to it. And I think what this pandemic has taught us is that it doesn't all have to shut down. I know we can't gig and we can't, there's certain things that we can't do, but we can still write and we can still collaborate and record even, so yeah, while we can do it that way, yeah, let's do it. It doesn't all have to shut down. And, I don't know how it's been handled where you guys are, but here, musicians and artists, they've just been ignored, really. There's been no real government help. And, there's a lot of musicians out there right now that are really struggling. And it's crazy because to me, music is and the arts is what got me through lockdown, listening to different people and reading books and watching movies, all of that really got me through. And so it's so crazy that that's what we needed to get us through that. And then they're not the industry that's helped out the most. It's crazy.
In the States, they have a fund for gig artists, for people. So whether you're an artist or musician, but it's not easy to, you can apply and it's difficult to, I think, some people to get the money,
But one thing, if there's, a side benefit to the weirdness of it all, is that it makes people appreciate how much they miss the arts. I think a lot of times they took it for granted. Oh, let's go to the bar and listen to some music. Let's go to New York and go to a concert. Let's do that. And then when you can't, it's like you're being suffocated,
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I've really kind of delved in my kind of lockdown experience because I'm guilty of the fact that sometimes I will only listen to somebody's greatest hits and just kind of try and sort of skip through. But it's meant that I've had to kind of go back and really educate myself on people's actual albums, So it's given me a really great appreciation of people's work. But yeah, I mean, we did take it all for granted, didn't we? Just being able to just nip to a local gig even, and just see somebody. Like I've been trying to book to go to stuff in the summer, and so many people just aren't doing anything because they're so frightened, I think, to organize something for then it to be cancelled or them to have to book, move it. So even though everything is opening up, I think people are still so put off by taking the risk of booking anything.
Lyric-wise, do you have heroes, people that you really, who's your favorite lyricist?
Oh, lyricist, that's so hard. Oh, right. Well, okay, I'm going to go with a current one. and a not current one. So current one, I think Taylor Swift. Oh man, the albums she released last year, Folklore and Evermore, I just thought were incredible. I mean, lyrically, it just resonated with me. I don't know if she's similar in age to me, and maybe she's a bit younger actually, but it's that same kind of demographic. And so she wrote, and I just was like, wow, I could have written that. I felt what she had written. And then not current. I mean, Bonnie Raitt. I've listened to a song of hers recently that my mum used to listen to a lot, and it's I Can't Make You Love Me. And oh man, I mean, it's just so deep. I mean, it's so heavy. She just nails it, and it's just such a hard thing to write about anyway, unrequited love, and she just absolutely hits the nail on the head.
Yeah, and to be original at it, to be so fresh, such a fresh, well, it's personal. I guess if it's personal, then it's going to be fresh because nobody's like you. So it's going to come out if you can tap into that, right?
Exactly.
The other thing that got you through the pandemic is fitness. I don't know if you're still, I just want to read, I cut this little blurb out, so I just want to read, this is one of your little, I don't know if you still keep up this regimen. So upper body, 5 sets of 10. That means you do 5 things 10 times each. Is that what that means?
That's right. Yeah. So
bicep.
Yeah, I do keep this up. I'm on it. If I have so much energy, if I don't do that, I just turn it into negative overthinking, and especially when it was lockdown, it was like I had to burn that energy off. And it really helps with my mental health. So it's not just about looking good, because I'm going to sit here and admit, if you look good, you do feel good. I think that's a thing, but it is mostly about that I don't turn that into something negative. I've used it in a productive way.
Yeah, well, running did that for me a long time ago, and I just, was at loose ends about, and somebody said run. I go, oh, yeah, really, I'm going to go out in the street and run. I mean, that's like ridiculous. And then it settled me down. I mean, it becomes an addiction in a way.
I agree, actually. I would agree with that. And it's about keeping that balance, isn't it? Running is something I've never attempted. And so many people have suggested it to me, but I just have never got to a point where I wanted to do it. I think I usually just do weights, and I have like a static bike that I do my cardio on. But it's weird. Like running for me, I think because I associate it with when I was a kid and like at school and stuff, and I wasn't good at long distance. I was good at sprinting. So I think there's still part of me that's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. But I haven't actually tried. And I'm so much fitter now than I was back then. So I'd probably be all right. But I don't know, something. It's like a mental block for me.
I think the things most runners won't admit it. It's pretty boring. It's brutally boring. But if you're in a nice place and there's scenery to look at. But anyway.
Miggs used to do the New York Marathon. How many miles? That's like 26 miles.
26 miles, yeah.
You didn't stop?
No stopping allowed. Well, you can stop if you want. But no, I did that. But that's decades ago.
That's amazing.
But
don't downplay that. That's
yeah, but
that's huge.
But people, there's marathons all over the world, and tens of thousands of people show up to do it. So it's not like 18 people who are, there's a lot of people that are just doing it to do it. I can't believe triathlons, the people that, they run a marathon, they swim 2 miles, and they bike 100 miles. I mean, that's beyond my belief.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, me too. I mean, it's too much. It feels like it's punishment a little bit. Like, I think there is that side of it a little bit, like where you kind of get to a point where you're like, I do kind of want to just push myself as far as I can and see if my body can take it, and recover and all that. I think that's the side of it as well that can be a bit addictive. You're kind of chasing like a maximal experience,
Yeah.
It's, yeah. And I think some of it is real punishment. I think I understood that about myself, that I was literally like flagellating myself. I really wanted to not hurt myself in a dangerous way, but I was beating myself up. Yeah.
I get it. It's the same with weights. When I do weight training, if I I'll get to a point where it doesn't ache anymore, like the next day. And I'm like, oh, I want it to hurt because then I feel like it's worked, even though I know that's total nonsense. But it's that feeling of like the next day of like, oh, I worked out and I could feel it.
Yeah, it's a badge of courage. Sure.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about Turn Up for Recovery?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's my stepmom's charity that she set up, and it's to raise awareness for abstinence-based recovery. And she's amazing. Like through lockdown, she has been finding people to put on shows, basically, you know. So she'll find different musicians and they will submit like a performance, and then she'll put it all together. And then every Saturday, I think it was through lockdown, there was a little, you know, showcase there for you to watch. It was great. And I mean, she got some incredible people like Sheryl Crow, Doyle Bramhall. I think Tedeschi Trucks did one. I did something I think it was like on a showcase with 2 other new artists. But yeah, it was so many people got involved. It was incredible. And she's still going, you know, because it's still lockdown here. So yeah, and it's great. Like you can, if once the idea was that it was before lockdown that she set it up, and the idea was that you put on a gig in your local area, and you the gig raises money and awareness for abstinence-based recovery. And yeah, I mean, it's a great idea, and I'm so proud of her that she's championing it and working so hard to, you know, further the cause, because it's just something that we're really passionate about in our family, you know, with Crossroads and everything. And, you know, it's very important to us.
The Crossroads, that's just that crossroads.org as well. That's Eric's, he started that, right? And is that same thing about abstinence?
Yes, yeah. So, you know, it's a rehab center in Antigua, and yeah, it's based around abstinence based recovery, and the 12 steps, you know, AA and all that. So
right,
yeah.
So do you want to sing, or would you like to do something?
I'll do something. I've picked a song. I'm going to have the lyrics here in front of me, so don't judge me on that. And I'm also just going to really quickly, my cat, honestly, this is, if you watch my Instagram and stuff, you'll see this is what happens to me all the time, is that I've locked her out purposely so that she wouldn't interrupt us. And she's just scratching at the door and crying. So I'm going to lock her out of the house now really quickly.
Really? You don't want to let her in?
Because otherwise she's just going to be in here crying. I'll go and do that and I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Okay. So.
Honestly. Come on.
So for those of you who are just tuning in, Ruth has just left the building to throw her cat out onto the street.
All right.
Rearranging the furniture while you're out there. Your cat's name isn't Ginger, is it?
No, it's not. It's Audrey. All right, so I'm gonna sing "Ring of Fire" by Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
So I'm ready when you are.
Right ahead.
All right. Okay. Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child, oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. All right.
Oh my God, that was sensational.
Oh, thank you.
Gave me goosebumps. Really, I'm not a musician. Trace is, and Trace sings, but how?
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You guys could harmonize or something.
We should have done that. You should have just jumped in and done some BBs. Come on.
I'd have to I know the song, but I'd have to practice before I do this
Oh.
for people to hear.
But I'm so curious. So as a total, I love music, and I've listened, and I've seen your father play with John Mayall in 1965. I saw him play with the Yardbirds, and I, of course,
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
And I've seen him.
I'm so jealous.
We both seen him play with Cream.
He played at our high school twice.
Oh,
We played at our high school.
Back in the day, obviously, I saw the reunion, and it was amazing. But I feel like it would have been a different experience seeing them back in the day.
Yeah, well, and the one that I have to tell this quick story is that I was at the Marquee Club, and Trace, we both went to London at different times. I'm older, so I went first, and I went to the Marquee Club to see some group, and the guy comes out, the announcer, and he says, "Before I bring out the group, we have a special guest in the audience." And of course, the Marquee Club is 100 people, and I'm right up front, and he said, and he points right at me. It looks like he's pointing right at me, and he goes, "Our special guest, Eric Clapton." And everyone's looking, I think, of course, they're looking at me. Well, it turns out Eric was shoulder to shoulder with me.
No way.
I didn't know it. I had I wasn't looking around. I wasn't looking for celebrities. So your dad was standing right next to me. Everybody's looking our way, and I'm thinking it's me, of course, for some weird reason. And they're applauding.
I'm going to have to get up and play.
Anyway, that's it. I never spoke to him. I probably said hi now that I knew who he was. But but anyway, I wondered about the a cappella thing. Do you have like a metronome in your head? I mean, how do you do that without music and without? It's a magical thing.
Memory. That's it. I practiced before I do it. So I did two, because I was like, oh, should I do a song? Should I not? And then I was like, no, I just should do it. Come on. Because I knew I'd regret it if I didn't. So I was looking at what to do, because I didn't want to do one that I'd already put on Instagram. So I thought, right, I'm going to try and pick something a bit different. And I think it's Bob Dylan's 80th birthday today.
Oh,
I think. So I picked out a Bob Dylan song. I picked out It Ain't Me, Babe.
Right.
okay.
Because I love that song. And then it led, and then I was like, oh, but the Johnny Cash one's really good. And then I was like, no, I'm going to do Ring of Fire. And so I practiced it twice before I put the kids to bed. And then I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to have to just go for it. But it's just memory, and in my head, so yeah, and I've got no experience of gigging or anything like that at the moment, because it's been that long since I've done it. And I know there's things now where you have like inner ear monitors and all that. We'll get there when I get there. But yeah, it's weird. I can't. It doesn't seem natural to me. I like the idea of that you just get up and you just do it, and you're not worrying I don't know if you have to have your monitors in front of you, but it's just that thing. I don't know about how I feel about that.
Yeah. I always have I'm going to forget lyrics I've done a million times. I'm going to forget, and sometimes I do freeze and I do gibberish, and I know nobody knows the difference. So as long as I'm committed to the gibberish, that maybe it's just part of a verse. People have never seemed to pick up on it, and I've heard other singers do sing gibberish.
We all do that. We all do it.
Was that the trick of the trade?
I sang a song this week by Stevie Wonder called "Overjoyed." Now, I have heard that song before, but not to not like a lot. So it's just one of those where I'm like, oh, okay, I recognize that song. I must have had it played to me as a kid or something. But then I was like, oh, well, I've decided I'm going to do this TikTok challenge where I'm going to sing this song. Like, so I better learn the lines. And I had to have my laptop like in front of me with the lyrics there. And then I was like, oh, it's so obvious that I'm just doing this like the whole time. So I think we all do it. But it's funny that there's certain songs where I just know them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, because it's just so entrenched in my memory.
Would you like to do the Bob Dylan song too?
I'm yet to get to a point where it's my own songs and I have to remember them. That's going to be.
Oh yeah, you're working on a song, but you're not ready to do that yet, right? To debut that?
I'm not. No, I've got a few different things going on. So there's 4 sort of projects going on at the moment, and there's only one of them that's kind of like nearly complete, but it's still not quite ready. But I'm going to be doing it for Turn Up. So I'm really excited. I'm going to send it to my stepmom and see if she'll put it in. There's a showcase that they're going to do in the summer. So I'm hoping she's going to pick it, but, no pressure or anything. But yeah, so I'm working on that. And then the other stuff that's going on is it's just for my own, just for me. There's no it's weird. So many people have asked me this week, like, where are you going with this? Like, what's the direction? There really isn't one. I just am out here having fun with it.
That's the best. Yeah. That's the best way. Can I ask you about your tattoo? What the significance of the 3 stars? Those for your kids?
Yeah. Oh, okay. There isn't one. I just liked it. I wish there was one because it's a bit lame, isn't it? That it's just, no, there's not one. It's just, I liked it. I have one on my foot that has some significance, but I can't, my shoes on, so I can't.
I do too.
But it's a cross. Oh, nice. Very cool. Is this anything to do with Harry Potter?
No, it was very pre-Harry Potter. It was probably before she was even born, but no, it's just a lightning bolt. And now there's a Gatorade. People say, oh, is that the Gatorade logo? No, it was way before Gatorade was invented.
Yeah, I know. These people with their suggestions of what it could be. Yeah. I think Harry Potter's actually worse than Gatorade, so I'm sorry. The one on my foot, I actually drew it myself. It's a cross that my granddad used to wear. And so that's got some significance, but I've got boots on. There's no way I'm taking them off.
That's okay. Well, unless you want to do the Bob Dylan song too.
Oh, no.
You didn't rehearse it? Okay. No pressure.
One's enough.
Yeah, okay.
Is there anything?
But thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
Anything else? I guess we're coming to an end, right, Miggs?
Unless,
or plug or stuff that you're...
Yeah, of course. I've set up a new Instagram account. I set it up a week ago. And the handle for it is Ruth Clapton Music. I'm just overwhelmed, actually, at the encouragement and the support and just the outpouring of love that I've had on there. It's been up a week and it's over 800 followers right now, which I can't believe it. I'm like, how did that? I thought it was going to take me ages to get anywhere near that. So, and then just the comments I've had on my voice and stuff, it's just been really lovely. It's been a really great week. So but then so that's the handle to go on if you want to listen to me do some covers, and then eventually there will be my own stuff on there. And I share my lyrics on there a little bit too. So that's it.
Okay.
Coming on the show.
It was a joy.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's been great.
So talented and fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That really means a lot.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye, Ruth.
Bye.